This Alvarez bridge was lifting off the guitar. When it came into the shop, I mean, you could see a visible gap all along the edge of the bridge here where it was lifting. And then inserting my feeler gauge underneath the bridge in the gap revealed that just the center part of the bridge was still glued on. So it was relatively easy to remove this bridge with the heat blanket. So what I'm doing now is contour the bottom of the bridge to the top. So I've taken some 80 grit sticky back sandpaper and it's just sort of lightly attached there. And I've taken a white marking pencil and mark the bottom of the bridge. As I take off the a little bit of the wood, the white marking pencil will show where I still have work to do. Right here and right here is where most of the white marking pencil is. So that is that direction of warp and twist. But when this is done, I'll be able to glue this back on and we'll get this guitar probably sounding better than it has for a while, because with half the bridge off, some of the tone would have suffered. Got all the white pencil markings off. Everything is now nice and contoured to the top. And I used 80 grit because it leaves some tooth, some roughness to the bottom of the bridge. So when it gets glued back to the top, it is going to have a good, slightly roughened surface for the glue to grab into and bond to. Going around it. So I'm going to gently score and remove this nasty heavy perimeter of finish, and then the bridge will glue back on to the complete wood surface. If I glued it back just the way it is right now, which I could, well, we'd be duplicating a faulty manufacturing process where the front part of the bridge has got glue and the back part of the bridge not so much, because it's lifted up by this finish. You can see how I'm very, very carefully lifting up the finish. I needed to score it along the line so that I wouldn't lift up the surrounding finish. So now I'm simply going in and very carefully breaking the finish away. There's the finish that was sticking in, there's the finish that's gone. Now this is that ledge that was keeping this edge of the bridge from getting a good glue bond to the top. Now on a guitar that gets a nitro finish or a very, very, very thin finish, it's typical to have an inside perimeter of finish that is just inside the perimeter of the bridge, so that you get a nice clean bond. This, as you can see, is a thick finish, and so having this on the inside perimeter just makes it impossible for the bridge to glue on properly. So very, very carefully here, lifting it up after I've scored it. Well, we're in the final stretch here. I'll let the bridge be clamped up overnight. Used hide glue to get a good glue bond, and used 5 clamps to accomplish that. They reach underneath and attach at various points along the bridge. Needed 5 to get even pressure along the bridge, and use some handy clamping cauls that I fabricated. This rubber piece was cut off of a large block eraser that we use to clean off sawdust and buildup on sanding belts, power sanding belts. And the wood itself that's used to distribute the clamping pressure when it's on the bridge like that is simply a couple of biscuits that are used, wood biscuits that are used for biscuit joinery a really cool way to join wood together. So now it's just a matter of cleaning it up, getting the holes for the pins cleaned out, and string her back up, get her back home to us. Nice sounding guitar. I'm glad we got this bridge reattached in a proper fashion. Nice guitars, these Alvarez's. This one's got a solid cedar top, laminated back and sides. Nice rich tone. If you have an acoustic guitar where you see a gap starting to develop between the bridge and the top, it's lifting, stick a piece of paper into that gap, just a thin piece of notebook paper, and see how far in it goes. If it goes in a 1/16 of an inch or less, you probably don't have much to worry about. But if it goes in much further, you're probably developing a lifting bridge problem. Loosen your strings, pull out the bridge pins, and then see if the paper extends all the way into where those bridge pin holes are drilled. If that's the case, then you really have a bridge lifting problem that should be addressed as soon as possible. And also, your guitar's not sounding as good as it could because half the bridge is not connected to the top. So anyway, that's a little bit of self-maintenance checkup. Right now, it's early November, well, it's mid-November in the Great Lakes, and it's time to humidify your guitars. The heat's on. Keep those guitars humidified so that they play well for you throughout the winter. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep on picking.